Hey y'all, welcome back to the Pink Envelope. I'm in here editing videos as normal, and John walks in and is like, we should film a video for CrowdHealth. Here we are, filming a video for CrowdHealth.
I did. I think we need this. This is something that I think everybody should know about. So,
If you're like, what the heck are y'all talking about? CrowdHealth is our health insurance. This is why this video is releasing on a Tuesday. I didn't want to take up one of our main spots where we talk about all the things, but if you're in one of the positions where you are in some kind of loophole or insurance, maybe you travel and your insurance isn't good for you, maybe you're just really ticked off at your traditional insurance, I wanted to throw this out here. We've had like non-traditional health insurance for nearly 20 years. We have a new program that we joined about almost 2 years ago called CrowdHealth, and we love it. We're going through, a lot of y'all already know this, health episodes with Emma, and we're having to make claims, and I'm having to work with CrowdHealth arm in arm, and we've kind of just fallen in love even more. Didn't really know that was possible since we started that experience. So I thought you said you had pulled some questions.
I do.
So I'll have John, just for clarity, ask the questions. I did a little bit of research, but mostly wrote out my responses after he showed me these questions to make sure I didn't ramble. I know you guys know that I never ramble, but for precise answers, you'll see me looking at my phone. And I'm going to cover some questions that he pulled and he had, and then some generic questions that we are getting from the masses in general.
So first question is from Lisa Oaks. What if you live in a state that requires traditional health insurance? Is CrowdHealth an accepted form of health insurance or health share?
It's actually a really good question. So obviously health insurance is accepted throughout the nation. Health share or health care sharing programs also, I think they fit the exemption. It will qualify you in. CrowdHealth is not one of those. CrowdHealth is peer-to-peer funding. And so, no, it will not meet that exception. However, this is the part I had to do some research on. There's only a few states that have rules and even less states that have actual penalties. I look at my stats here on YouTube all the time, and California is the third most popular state that watches my YouTube channel. So I'm going to use California as my example. And I did, when I was reading through, it says that the penalty amount as of 2024 is about $900 per adult and $450 per child under the age of 18. If you have an accelerated income, I think it's 2.5% of your total income. So that's the penalty you have if you do not carry traditional health insurance. However, you know me, I'm gonna run some numbers. I was running numbers through, and if you look at the monthly average premium that people in California pay for traditional health insurance, it's $656. 40 years old, pretty healthy, you pay on average $656. If you go to CrowdHealth, you pay the $55 advocacy fee, the up to $140 a month premium, plus the $75-ish penalty fee. That's still only $270 a month for an adult.
So what's the penalty?
$75.
Oh, the penalty is only $75?
It's like $900 a year.
Okay.
So like with the penalty, with your fees from CrowdHealth, total is up to $270.
It's still cheaper.
Yeah, because $656 is the number.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what I would encourage you to do is like if you're going through and you're like, oh, I'm in one of the states, like I looked. Vermont actually is an exception. They have the rule that you have to have traditional health insurance, but they don't actually have a penalty to my knowledge. So then what's the point? Like, who cares? And so I would just run your numbers. What is the average premium you're going to pay where you're at? Then take your $55 advocacy fee that we all pay at CrowdHealth, whatever your monthly premium is, and add your penalty fee and see. The numbers I ran in circles, even with a penalty fee, CrowdHealth is still cheaper than traditional insurance.
Well, that's good. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so from Giselle, does CrowdHealth offer coverage outside the United States?
So like traditional health insurance, most claims are not covered. Now, it's just, actually, let me say this. I don't want to say most claims aren't covered. They just don't guarantee the coverage. And that's traditional health insurance. That's CrowdHealth. That's healthcare sharing.
So if you are a U.S. citizen and you go like out of the country for something, that's what she's asking, I'm guessing?
I'm guessing so based on the way this is written.
Okay, not like if you live in France and you want to use CrowdHealth.
Okay, I didn't read it that way, but perhaps. And I would say no, because they guarantee coverage in the United States only.
Okay.
So
US based.
yeah, kind of no and no.
But if I travel to France, those are not guaranteed to be covered.
But they're also not covered.
You could put up a claim and say, hey,
yeah,
this is what happened. That's the thing. That's what I love about CrowdHealth right now is it's very small. It's very...
well, it's not very small, but it's not this monstrosity of a conglomerate of hospitals and doctors and...
It's like a large family.
Yeah.
And so
That's
like they have advocates and like, hey, this is what we're going through, and they'll walk you through it. It's not you're not just a number. You really are. It's like a group. And so like...
They sent me a gift on my birthday.
Well, and didn't we just receive an email from them saying that, hey, we've got this extenuating circumstance. This family has this. If you would like to donate to this, you can donate.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've only been here a couple of years, and this is the first time I've seen it happen. But one of the CrowdHealth family members had to put in a claim for being sick. And because you get I call it a concierge. They call it an advocate. They're pretty much like concierge service. They contact you and they talk with you, and you can talk to them about all sorts of things. The concierge discovered that the family is going through a bunch of stuff outside of medical that is just an incredible hardship. So they sent us an email and said, hey, CrowdHealth family, if you want to give to this person, here's her personal Venmo. So we don't pass it through CrowdHealth. We just Venmoed. So I Venmoed her some cash and told her we were praying for her and that her CrowdHealth family is for her. That's because they talk to us. We talk to them.
Yeah,
it's like a relationship. Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's why it's not like traditional health insurance.
Oh.
It's not even in the same...
Not even in the same world.
Okay, so actually, I've got a question
Okay.
that I always hear, and I don't know if it's actually in here, but a lot of the feedback that I've heard is that healthcare sharing, healthcare funding and stuff, they don't guarantee they're going to pay. So there's no guarantee and all this stuff. But my perspective on that is, traditional health insurance doesn't guarantee coverage, and they can deny you for things on a whim.
Yeah. I know that's everybody's worry, right? Everybody has the worry. But none of it's guaranteed.
Like
You're not assuming any more risk moving with a healthcare sharing versus moving with CrowdHealth, which is peer-to-peer funding, versus traditional insurance. And arguably, I'd say me presenting some heartfelt case to it's a business, it's an entity, it's for profit. Health insurance is going to be a whole lot quicker to decline my claim than talking to what I call my concierge up at CrowdHealth. I don't know that CrowdHealth has declined anything. Not something that's within the parameter of the rules.
That's what I'm saying. They have very clear rules, and it's very clear.
clear.
There's not like gray areas, and there's not like...
And they listen. So like when we were talking to them the other day, and I said something like, well, why is this like this? And they were like, dude, that's a very good question. Let's run that up. And they made a rule change. They didn't just run it up and ghost. They got back with me and said, hey, we're going to make an adjustment on this. And it was about the age at which you can join. What if you're a mom who joins with a 1-week-old baby? That was my question.
Okay.
And it wasn't even about me. It was just a general thought. Right. And it was handled so beautifully. I'm like, oh, brownie point.
But yeah, my point on this is that, in my opinion, I feel like traditional health insurance has so many reasons and
they just do. We hear about it all the time.
They can deny coverage. That it's gotten out of hand, and companies like CrowdHealth, it's opened the doors for them to be able to come and say, hey, we've got a different way of doing it.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It is a very different way of doing it.
Yes.
That's why we call it traditional health insurance. And then you have CrowdHealth.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Yes.
So you kind of have to wrap your head around that. Okay, next question from Todd Owen. Is dental or vision covered?
No. So just like traditional health insurance, it would be a separate plan. You don't get it in your traditional. However, CrowdHealth gives you what is called like did I write in the word here? One wellness visit per year. So this is something healthcare sharing plans don't do. This is like very unique to CrowdHealth. So you get one per year.
Right.
It's up to $300 that they'll reimburse you, and you get to choose what health wellness thing. So you can use it on pediatrics, annual well checks, my female check. You can do a vision check. You can do a dental cleaning. They don't care what it is, and there's like 5 things in there that you can use it on. So although they don't cover dental or vision, you can use that up to $300 well check on one of those things. So I have been an entrepreneur all my life. I have never had traditional, or it's been 20 years since I've had traditional health insurance under my dad at work. And I don't go get my female annual well checks every single year. I think it's dumb. I need to go in every other year to every third year. Probably there's people who would disagree, but I have a perfect bill of health, 0 concerns. Going every year seems redundant. Right. So I went last year to get my whole mammogram, all the things. So this year, I'm not going to go back in and redo all that. I'm probably going to use my well check for my dental.
Oh, well, that's a great idea.
I mean, why not? Yeah. I know that I have no concerns on my female well check side. So why wouldn't I use it towards my dental? And I just take out an independent insurance plan with our dental, like our family's under a dental insurance plan with the dentist, and it's super affordable, and we don't have to jump through any hoops because they are their own insurance. It's flat rate, upfront, clear pricing. If you're in San Antonio, hit me up. I can tell you about them. Elevate Dental. They're fantastic.
We're actually going there today.
We are. All 4 of us go today. Get our cleaning.
And also, not only do you have the credit for stuff, but they also every once in a while give you like specific, like, hey, we want you to get a DEXA scan. So everybody in this, you have a month to go get a DEXA scan.
You're close. You're close on
okay. Okay, what is it?
So brand new to CrowdHealth. They relaunched it at the end of 2024, and it's now an official thing for 2025. Each quarter, they introduce a topic that you can go out and learn more about your health. Basically, they want to prevent sickness and encourage health on the front end.
Right.
So this quarter, Q1 of 2025, was DEXA scans. And so fully reimbursable. We go in and get our DEXA scan. We submit the bill. They reimburse us. And that was actually super, super cool. We learned really cool. So much. And I'm always over here on my videos telling y'all I have no ass at all, right? I have no booty. The largest amount of fat I have is in my booty and my hips. How?
Well, that's because you have like a 4% body mass.
It was
4% body fat.
It was so
almost 0.
But on top of knowing how our muscle versus our fat was in the DEXA scan, then we also were able to learn small changes we can make that will have a big impact on our future health. Yeah. So that was super beneficial. Yeah. I'll pop it up right here. This is the 4 for the quarter. They don't guarantee these 4. They may swap topics because we get input. They ask us to vote. They ask us to chat. And so, but this is the 4 tests that we have.
Yeah.
And
it's really fun.
Yeah, it's really cool. That's cool new. I love that they're doing that.
Yep. Okay, from Jay, is there a healthcare sharing plan targeted towards senior citizens?
In general, if there is healthcare sharing, yes. That looks like that's what his question is. There are several. You can do MediShare Senior Assistant. You can do CHM. You can do Samaritan Ministries. All of them cover senior plans. They're a little bit pricey, I'm going to be honest, but it's probably still better than the traditional health insurance that you're bumping into. Although, in the last conference call that CrowdHealth had that all of us could join, I did hear some rumblings that in the future, they didn't say much, but they said change is coming in the future on the age restriction, age limit. They're hoping or are going to have. This is all speculation, y'all. They didn't tell me anything. I just was maybe reading into and listening that there won't be an age cap. I think right now the age cap is it 62 and a half or 65? It's somewhere in there where they don't accept members for. But that might be. Okay.
And again, we're filming this in 2025, and the CrowdHealth is it's how old is it? 4 years old?
Yeah, it started near the pandemic.
Yeah, so it's relatively young. Yeah. It's growing
like
crazy. As it grows, it can extend into other things. And right now, I think they have the age range that's the easiest to accommodate.
I think it's birth to 65 or something like that. Right. You can look that up to confirm that. I mean, I want to say this. We've done traditional health insurance, we've done Christian healthcare ministries, and we've done Samaritan Ministries. And so I know those well. And as those other 3, not counting CrowdHealth, healthcare sharing plans and traditional insurance got more popular and grew, the rules got more staunch and the prices got high. It is literally you're like, oh, this is going to get great because we're getting more people. No, it just was like, and suddenly we've got 10,000 hoops to jump through, and the rates are astronomical.
Yep.
We're watching CrowdHealth grow. I've watched them grow for 2 years, and I spied on them before that. And the rates are not increasing, and the rules are not increasing.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's really true. In fact, we're getting more free things per quarter. We're getting more out of the deal. And so, and honestly, our rates are going down. We're getting more from them, and our rates are going down. it freaks me out a little bit, but I'm, as you can imagine, as pleased as punch. And I handle, the reason he's questioning me is I handle everything on everything.
She does.
He's been around and he has to sign the documents, but he doesn't do the nitty gritty.
No, she does all the detailed things.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Is there max coverage like I see with healthcare sharing programs?
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So CrowdHealth has no cap. There is no max coverage. But like,
so I could submit a bill for $1 million.
Yeah. There's no max number.
Okay.
If you're having a procedure that you're planning out, you do need to get pre-approval. Like, I know I'm having a baby. Let's don't start rumors. But I know I'm having a baby in 9 months. You partner with them right now, and they plan it out. Emma's foot. As soon as we noticed her foot had gone lame and she's dragging her foot, I contacted them and said, hey, this is happening. We need to plan these procedures. So you can avoid the $1 million bill whenever you're planning in advance. However, if you have an emergency and you end up there, you just submit it to them. They'll partner with you and they start negotiations.
That was also in the newsletter. Is they had their first $1 million bill submitted. There was like a hunting accident or something, and a guy had this crazy bill that he submitted, and it was covered. $1 million bill was covered.
But like if you're thinking about healthcare sharing, which is I'm looking at this question, with healthcare sharing, typically you take out your healthcare plan, and then you have to pay for a rider on top. I think Samaritan Ministries calls it Save to Share. It used to be called Brother's Keeper.
Okay, right.
And then CHM, I think they just call it like CHM Plus. But it's the money you have to pay on top of to submit a bill that's over $250,000.
Okay.
With CrowdHealth, there's none of that.
Okay. What happens if CrowdHealth receives too many bills and can't fund them?
So that kind of touches base to the answer I just said. Anything that's a procedure that you're scheduling, you're letting them know in advance. So that kind of prevents that. They know it's coming down the pipeline. They're planning for it accordingly. And there's just very few freak accidents that cost more than they can handle. It just hasn't happened. They've never encountered this. But, they've got an entire team that's balancing the books and managing our numbers for us. I am going to pop this screenshot up here. So this is our monthly giving. And you can see, single, I think it's like 55 plus, and then family. This is how much each of us paid for the month. Yes, that is the total plus our advocacy fee, which is $50 per person that we paid for insurance. Yes, it's like, I think this month was $450
for a family of 4.
For a family of 4. But you see the note at the bottom where it says that they are receiving some large bills that are coming up in the future. So they're asking for more this month, even though we didn't have that many bills this month, to prep to pay for the upcoming bills. So they're constantly running the numbers. It's not one of those things where they're like, oh my gosh, I would have never thought this was going to happen. No. They know it's going to happen and they're planning for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my opinion on what I've seen. And let me tell you, I spy on these people. I watch their Instagram. I watch their YouTube. I'm like a stalker, but I want to know. Like, I enjoy this thing. It's for fun. You wouldn't have to do that. He doesn't do it. I want to know,
Does CrowdHealth cover prescriptions?
Yes. So we're filming this April 2025, they cover prescriptions for a need up to the first 120 days. If you need a prescription past that, what is the name of their thing? Hold on. I do have it written down. Oh, I didn't write down. They have a pharmacy discount program that discounts on average 50 to 60% off. Like you will almost always see a 50% plus discount that you roll into and you just have highly discounted. We also use GoodRx. We've used GoodRx for almost 20 years now. I'll pop up so anything I'm mentioning right now, I'll put links down below. I'm not saying that, but I'll put links like for the older crowd. If you want to check out CHM Plus, I'm gonna have a link down there for you. You know what I mean? I'll put the link for GoodRx as well.
Right.
And you can check it out, but they cut the price down to a fourth.
Yeah,
almost
it's
every
incredibly cheap.
Single
it's incredibly
time.
cheap. Yeah, if you're paying some outrageous price for your prescription, or you see the outrageous price for your prescription right now, check to see, first of all, what a generic version of it is, and if GoodRx has a discount for it.
So a lot of times, traditional insurance won't cover the generic, and then you have to pay the percentage of the price. So that's always something. My sister has traditional insurance, and so she's had it. And that was something she ran into often. Like the original price was $2,000, and they have to pay 10% of it. So she was still paying $200 type thing. It's like,
whereas the generic
would
have
been. So that's one caveat, regardless of where you at in life, to look for. Secondly, ask what the cash pay rate is with GoodRx, even if you have insurance. Now, I know some insurance doesn't allow that. They don't want you to loophole that cash side. They do not want you to get that. So do check that. But my sister used to do that. She's like, what's that app again? And she'd look it up. She's like, with insurance, it's $100 more. That happened over and over and over with her. So I would use that app no matter what. And then, yeah. They do cover just up to 120 days.
Okay. Why do you love CrowdHealth so much? I mean, I think we've kind of been dripping with how much we like it.
So this is where I wrote down my answer. Like I'm gonna read because like you just said, I'll just keep going and going. CrowdHealth is tech driven. I do everything via an app on my phone. It is so fast. It is so easy. It's also crowdfunded. So I'm paying that person's bills. They're paying my bills. These are people that like GoFundMe or Give, Send, Go. We are crowdfunding each other's things. I am not making a group of, I was going to say men. It's kind of sexist, but a group of people up in an office really, really rich with my dollars. I am just paying for other people's needs. So that's really, really big for me. It's peer-to-peer. There's no pooled risk. It's voluntary and you're paying humans. It's not bureaucratic. And that speaks to my Enneagram 8 self in a way that is unique. I love it. Freedom of choice is another one I wrote. There are no networks and you choose your doctor. If you travel for work, I don't know how you stay within network and have traditional insurance. If you get sick in a random city, what do you do? Yeah. With CrowdHealth, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. You can call your advocate and say, I need help, or you can just go to the doctor. So we have all of our whole health doctors, which are naturalist doctors that are actual real doctors. That is their one caveat. You can't pick your neighbor next door who does essential oils and call him your doctor and you're covered. Don't do that. But you have that freedom. And once again, this Enneagram 8 self, I want to be free to do what is best for me, but I definitely want to be free to do what is best for my kiddos. Yeah. I wrote, and you can follow down, I wrote them on here so I wouldn't get distracted. Transparent pricing. Number one irk. I hear people talk about it all the time. Is they get their bill at the end and they're arguing with their insurance and they're arguing with the doctor and they're arguing with the hospital because they're three separate entities. And heaven forbid, like you also had an anesthesiologist in there. That's the doctor plus the hospital plus the anesthesiologist. With CrowdHealth, they show you the cost of the treatment up front and you can compare costs and then move forward. It's all blanket. Plus your cost with them is up front. It's $55 per person advocacy fee plus up to... So our family is what? Up to $420. So literally, you only pay what is needed and never more. So for my family, we pay the 55 times 4, which is $220 for our concierge, as I say. Then we have to cover up to $420 of our peers' needs.
Right. So what's the largest bill we've ever paid?
I don't know, but let me finish this. Okay. If there are not that many needs, we don't have to pay the money. We don't pay the money and then they take it and they put it in a special pool. No, we just don't even pay the money. So here's what we've paid for the last 3 months. April, we paid $255 towards our peer funding. March, we paid $255 towards our peer funding. In February, we paid $45 or $55 towards our peer funding. That means we paid $475 a month total for our insurance. Yeah. Total $475. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think the max they can ask us for is $420. I think once they've asked us for $410 to answer your previous question.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm scrolling. I've got my app here. So
the biggest we'll ever pay is what,
$420 plus $220, so $640.
$640 would be the highest.
That would be like everything went wrong and we got to pay, which we've
never even gotten close.
We've one time we got kind of close.
Okay.
But no, on average we pay less than $500 per month.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane for a family of 4? It's crazy.
That's what a lot of people pay for their insurance, even with their employee covered
Oh, yeah.
I remember
Well, go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
remember when I was working for a company and I had to pay $350 out of my own paycheck to, I guess, my half of the insurance, and then the company had to pay like
Yeah.
$1,000. It was crazy how much they were paying, plus I was paying for insurance.
It's funny you should mention that. My very next line is no deductibles to meet.
Yes.
So we're responsible for the first $500 of every major thing, right? So Emma's foot, we're a few thousand in on her being a 13-year-old girl with drop foot, and her foot just hangs down and she can barely move it. So we paid the first $500 worth of bills, and they're covering everything else from there. Super easy, done, move on. Every time we show up to physical therapy, right? Blowing my mind. I want to record somebody, but I need to ask their permission, and that gets awkward real quick. I'm like, can you say that again? But I wrote it down. We walk in and we pay $90 cash to see the physical therapist. $90. I go in, done, submit the bill to CrowdHealth. They reimburse me. No big deal. We're at least 5 times or more that the person next to me came in and they paid $95 for their visit, and they have to pay $95 for their visit until they meet their deductible. Then it drops down to whatever the negotiated rate is. $15 is the most popular number I've heard.
But so the insurance is only paying for a little bit of it, and then they still have to pay $15 even after their deductible?
Yeah, so they have to pay more than me, $95 per visit, until they meet their deductible. Then it drops to $15 and insurance pays the rest. I'm paying $90 cash. That's it.
That's another
no deductible.
If you're going and you're trying to compare like traditional insurance versus the CrowdHealth, and you're trying to see how much it costs, make sure you put in the deductible, how much that deductible is that you still have to pay every single month, because we don't have to do deductibles.
We do have to pay the first $500 of a need, but think about it. If you don't have a need and nothing goes on, you pay nothing. There's nothing. So we haven't paid any of the $500, nothing, until Emma's big incident, which I was more than happy to pay because we only pay about $500 a month anyhow. It was no big deal.
Right.
And our well checks, they're covered. They have telehealth. So if you wake up and you're sick, get on the free telehealth, do your visit, done. That's free. I mean, that goes back to the perks. The perks just keep getting better even though we're growing.
Right.
We use telehealth for everything.
Right. And I want to explain that further. The per need, $500 per need.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to pay $500 for all of. She had to go to see 3 doctors. Mm-hmm. She had to do physical therapy. She had to get a special device for her foot. All of that, we paid $500.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not per visit or anything. It's per
need. Overarching event.
So anything related to her foot is now covered under the $500.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. And then you mentioned work, so it makes me was thinking about, it's very portable, like it's very movable. So if you get your insurance through your job and then they fire you, or you get your insurance through your job and you need to quit and move jobs, you get into all the transferring, what's it called, that you get to segue between insurance. My sister just did it.
Like when you do the COBRA?
Yeah. So expensive. So ungodly. Expensive. Like, should be illegal.
It should be illegal. It really should be illegal.
With CrowdHealth, you don't have that. Your insurance isn't tied to your employer. Your insurance is tied, or insurance, because CrowdHealth isn't tied to you. It's tied to you. There's so much freedom, especially so like if you're an entrepreneur and you like to bounce around on different contracts. Your insurance is just with you.
Yeah.
You cancel anytime. You're not signing an annual.
No open enrollment times.
You can enroll at any time. You don't sign any contract like I'm guaranteeing 1 year. No. You just join. Yeah. It's crazy. Once again, talking to people and they're like, well, I'm working here, but they're about to sell my contract here, but it's a new person, so I have to get new in. I'm like, ugh. Do you read all that paperwork over and I don't know. It's stressing me out. And I know another question that pops up often is, do you have to be religious? And no, If you know, you know. You don't have to run around and chase down your church elders to sign a piece of paper to say you're allowed to join us. CrowdHealth is tied to zero religion. You just join, anybody can join. They have health goals we have to meet, but nothing with religion like some of the healthcare sharing plans have.
All right, well, we've gone for a long time here and covered a ton of stuff.
Yeah, so we're not paid by CrowdHealth. They have no idea we're filming this. I'm going through all this stuff with Emma and talking to a lot of doctors, and I'm in this physical therapy office multiple times a week, and I'm hearing all these people, and you should hear the talks and the phone calls that they're making. It's so heavy, and it's made me feel heavy, which I think I come home and tell you about it, and that's when you were like, let's make a video. Yep. So I do have a refer a friend code. Y'all get the same thing when you sign up. And when you sign up, you get your first 3 months for $99 only. That's it. You just pay $99. And then you roll into the traditional plan of whatever your premiums are. I think that's it, right? You can use the code. Yep. I have a code, and I have down below. You can click the URL. And I just encourage you to sign up and chat with them. See what they're about. See what's happening. See if it's a match. You can put questions down below. This is our official 3rd video, right? Or 4th?
3rd.
But it's stemmed off of the questions you guys are asking. We just get on here and answer. And now that we've actually had an incident with Emma's foot and the lameness that she's experiencing, I actually had a story to tell because we haven't had any claims. So yeah, you can hit up that offer. It's a great way to start, very affordable way to start using our Refer a Friend code. If you are about living by design and not by default, CrowdHealth is going to be an excellent match for you. They not only want to reduce our costs, they want to increase our health at the same time. All right. Thanks for barging in my office. At first, I was like, I don't know if I have it in me. And then I've been over here talking for how many minutes? Nearly 30 minutes straight now?
Long video. Lots of information. Deep dive into CrowdHealth.
I'll put minute markers down below so they can jump around. I hope that you guys are having an absolutely amazing day. And if you at any point during this insane video hit subscribe, we're going to see you later. Bye, y'all.